It is revenge time for the Chicago Bears as they take on the Minnesota Vikings in Week 11. Let's talk about this and give you guys a preview and a final score prediction for this matchup. So make sure to stick around till the very end. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below and make sure to hit the bell icon so you are, in fact, notified every time I drop a new video. All right, so here we go, man. It is time to get revenge from the Week 1 opening night matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, in which the Bears blew a lead and lost that game by a final score of 27-24. A lot has changed for both teams since then. The Bears are right now sitting at 6-3, and the Minnesota Vikings are right now sitting at 4-5. And we take a look at this matchup here. Let's start like we always do with the numbers. The Bears are at the Minnesota Vikings this week, and the Vikings are favored in this one by 2.5. So -2.5 is the line. This line has moved a few times. I feel like it's gone to like 3, back to 2.5. Sometimes I think I've seen it even at 3.5, but essentially it's at 2.5 right now at the time I'm recording this, and the over-under is at 48.5. So the Vikings are obviously getting favored here at home, but I'm still a little surprised because we're talking about a 4-5 football team versus a 6-3 football team. Did I expect the Bears to be outright favored in this one? No, but maybe this should be more of a pick'em than a 2.5 point line here. So the Vikings coming into this game losing to the Ravens, but they did have an impressive victory over the Detroit Lions the week prior, man. And the biggest question in this one is going to be the health of J.J. McCarthy, who is dealing with, I believe, a hand injury. He's questionable for this matchup. I expect him to suit up in this one. But if there is no J.J. McCarthy, their backup is listed as Max Brosmer, okay? That is who is listed as the backup. Remember, Carson Wentz is done for the season, and so if it's not J.J. McCarthy back there for the Vikings on Sunday, then big advantage for the Chicago Bears there. All right, so taking a look at this matchup for the Chicago Bears, I'm going to start focusing for the Bears defensively speaking, first and foremost, taking a look at how to attack this Vikings offense. And again, this is under the assumption that J.J. McCarthy does play. And if you guys remember in Week 1, the Bears obviously blew a lead, as I mentioned. They were up going into the fourth quarter 17-6, and they gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Well, the way you want to neutralize this Vikings attack is you want to make J.J. McCarthy a pocket passer. You do not want to let him, similar to last week with Jackson Dart, get it going with his legs. The Vikings are doing everything in their power to make this a game manager style of quarterbacking for J.J. McCarthy, where they don't drop him back a lot. They run the football a lot, make sure that he doesn't turn the football over. And so I don't want Aaron Jones to get going here. Aaron Jones routinely kills the Bears. It doesn't matter what team he's on, the Vikings or the Packers. And so you don't want Aaron Jones to get going. You don't want Jordan Mason to get going. They're going to try to run the football a lot with those guys. And I know the Bears' run defense is not very good, but still, the focus should be on shutting down the run, shutting down rushing lanes for J.J. McCarthy, and making him beat you from the pocket. And if he beats you from the pocket, tip my cap to it. It is what it is at that point. I will live with it, but I don't believe J.J. McCarthy will be able to do that. I know he's got weapons on the outside in J.J. Jettas and Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson is solid in the middle as well, but I will still take my chances losing that way versus getting Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason each going for like 100 yards or 70 yards and losing that way. So that is going to be the key defensively, is like J.J. McCarthy needs to beat me from the pocket. He's not going to get rushing lanes, and they're not going to beat me with the run game. And funny enough here, let's take a look at the Bears offense. You would think, okay, you see the defensive stats for the Vikings. They're 12th overall, 9th against the pass, 22nd against the rush. The reason I say funny enough is because this shows that they're a run funnel, right? 22nd against the run, 9th against the pass. Well, take a look at the game logs here from the past couple of games. They shut down the Lions' rushing attack. in that win against the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in football, finished with 9 rushes for 25 yards. Folks, that's unbelievable. That is like, I can't fathom any team holding Jahmyr Gibbs to just 25 rushing yards on 2.8 yards per carry. Monty, not much better at 11 for 40 for 3.6 yards per carry. They held Derrick Henry last week to 3.8 yards per carry. He had 75 rushing yards, but it took him 20 carries to do that. But here's the funny part. 3 weeks prior, I believe when they played the Chargers, Kamani Vidal, okay, a career backup, goes for 23 for 117 and a touchdown for 5.1 yards per carry. So it's almost like I can't figure out this Vikings defense, man, what Brian Flores is going to let up and let happen. But what I will say is that, you know, through the air, I feel like quarterbacks have had some sort of, relatively solid success. Jalen Hurts, 326 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Justin Herbert, 227 and 3. Jared Goff, 284 and 2. So for the Bears, while I'm not saying abandon the run, I just feel like we got to go ahead and take a balanced approach here because Brian Flores is the ultimate wild card. We do know he's going to blitz, but it's almost like, what is he going to pick to shut down, right? Will he try to shut down the Bears' run game, or will he try to shut down Caleb? But to me, I'm going to go ahead and see if, the Bears can take a balanced approach here with the run and the pass. I told you this in previous videos. We got to go ahead and see more of Luther Burden, less of Alane Zaccheaus, more of Colson Loveland, less of Cole Kmet. Let's get these playmaking rookies on the field. And Caleb this week is going to have to get the ball out very quick because, like I said, we know Brian Flores likes to bring the heat with the blitz. And so Caleb is going to have to definitely do that. He got away from a lot of ad-libbing last week, which was awesome because it worked out. But there were a lot of near sacks in that game going up against that Giants pass rush. Now, the Vikings pass rush is not going to be as good, but you just don't want to put yourself in that position. Why even do that? So to me, Caleb's got to get the ball out quick. Let's go ahead and keep a balanced approach with the run game with Swift and Monangai. And let's just keep the Vikings guessing in this one. So that's what I believe the Bears should be doing here. Ultimately, I just think the Bears are at a better position here. I think they're the better football team. And I think even on the road, they win this football game. The revenge factor is there. We've got the better quarterback. We've got the better coach, I believe, at this point. I just think we've got the better overall team, all right? And so to me, I'm picking the Bears to win this football game by a final score of 31-24. We get revenge. J.J. McCarthy struggles. The Bears move to 7-3 on this season. Let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.